Well, it's really snowy out, but I'm still going to power through with this Monday movie pickup. This is one of those purchases I got just because I had heard the title, Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, of course I want to buy that movie. This is the first movie directed by Ron Howard and the producer, Roger Corman. So, what can't you love? I know nothing about the movie, but come on, Grand Theft Auto. I can't pass up a title like that. Also have the Thanksgiving movie Freebirds. Is this like the only Thanksgiving movie ever made? Pretty sure. I've never seen it, but finally gonna get to this movie. I've heard kind of good things about it from the minority of people who have seen it, and apparently there's time travel in it, so what's not to love about that? I also got, this is the first movie to ever win Best Picture, Wings, and I've decided I'm going to start going through all the Best Picture winners, even though that's a bunch of films that aren't necessarily all great. A lot of them may have aged pretty badly. Some of the picks that they've made in the past have been controversial. A lot of people have disliked them and thought the other nominees were better. But for now, before hitting up maybe doing all the nominees someday, for now I'd like to just watch the movies that won. And Wings is the beginning of that, so excited to finally delve into that. I'm also continuing to purchase all the DreamWorks movies. Finally got my hands on the Penguins of Madagascar, and even though it says Blu-ray 3D, that is not necessarily true because there's like not a 3D disc in there. Not that I need 3D, but that's not what was promoted to me anyway, but it came in a 3D case. It's actually a library copy, so I've been getting a couple of those lately. I guess the libraries are all getting rid of their Blu-rays. Jewel of the Nile. This is a movie I didn't realize existed, but when I grabbed it, I was like, this looks a lot like Romancing the Stone. Is this like a Romancing the Stone ripoff that had the same actors in it? And then I realized, oh, it's literally a sequel to Romancing the Stone. Had no idea. Talk about completely random sequel. Yeah, I'd like to know exactly what they did with a sequel to Romancing the Stone that has nothing to do with Robert Zemeckis being attached. So, of course, I got this Universal Horror Collection. I have been wanting to get these for a while. Shout Factory started releasing these in volumes. They have 3 of them out. This first volume has a bunch of movies that starred Karloff and Lugosi. And there's 4 of them on here, and I'm excited to finally just delve into those, the non-monster Universal horror movies. I hope they start releasing these sets more and more, but they're just kind of pricey. I actually had to win an eBay bidding war in order to get this. I'm hoping with the other ones I can do the same thing and just get lucky. This has The Black Cat, The Raven, The Invisible Ray, and Black Friday. Kind of random, not completely unpopular movies. Like, people know these names, but they're the lower tier of the Universal horror lot. But they are packed with special features. Bunch of commentaries, trailers, and then an entire special feature that's divided into 4 parts on every disc. And that's the thing, every movie also gets its own disc, which is super awesome. You very rarely see that with movies that are shorter like this, older movies especially. Some of these movies are only 60 minutes. So I'm really happy. Shout did a lot of effort for this set and for the other sets. So if you're a Universal horror fan like me, these are definitely going to be worth picking up. And that would be everything, except it was also Black Friday the other day, so I went a little crazy. I probably bought the biggest amount ever. So this is the joke, by the way. I got Miracle on 34th Street because I own the remake. Well, why wouldn't I own the old one? I don't know. You just keep tossing them like crazy. Transformers: The Last Night. I have looked for the last 2 Black Fridays now trying to find this anywhere, and it's been nowhere. And I refused to buy this movie for any more than literally $4 just so I could complete my Transformers collection. This movie sucks, but I needed to finish that collection, and I finally found it. And to my astonishment, even though this movie kind of sucks, like all of them do, but this one didn't even make that much money, this still got a second special features disc. Are you serious? Really? Transformers: The Last Night needs a 2-disc edition. I'm glad that's the one they were selling for Black Friday, because eventually I'd like to dig into the special features maybe, but like, for this? Seriously? Mark Wahlberg and a bunch of robots and Optimus Prime going evil? I don't know about that. Creed 2. Also finished a Rocky collection. This was a great sequel to Creed. Not one of the best Rocky sequels, I wouldn't say. I think I'd still watch Rocky 2 and maybe Rocky 3 before this one, but this does a lot for Rocky 4. It actually gives Dolph Lundgren's character a lot of... you kind of feel bad for him at a point, which I never thought they'd be able to do with Ivan Drago. It was surprising, to say the least. Power Rangers. This movie wasn't that bad. I was actually kind of sad that it didn't do too well at the box office, because basically they're done making these now, it seems. I don't know if they'll ever do a sequel. I'm sure eventually they'll just reboot it again, which will suck, because this movie, not that bad. I don't know. I have not seen Ex Machina. On my list on Letterboxd, I'm looking through all the movies from the 2010s, and the first movie from the 2010s of most popular titles that I haven't seen is Ex Machina. I know it's on Netflix, but having the Blu-ray is going to just give me more reason to finally check it out. Rocketman. Very good movie from this past year. Taron Egerton is great as Elton John. He's going to get ignored at the Oscars. I guarantee it, and that's just a shame. Film. And Pacific Rim Uprising. But, you know, I own the first one. Why don't I own the second one? I don't know. Spectre. This was kind of a funny one because I owned the 007 collection with every movie, and there was an extra slot that you could put Skyfall in if you buy it separately, which I did. And then for years, I thought I was going around saying, I own all the James Bond films. I didn't realize until recently that I was like, oh wait, I don't own Spectre, because that wasn't part of that collection. I have to buy that separately. And I completely forgot about it. So, luckily enough, found it at Black Friday. Wasn't meaning to find it, but there it was for real cheap. And I was like, about time. I could finally, just in time for that new trailer for the new James Bond movie coming out. So, simple favor. This is a really entertaining kind of black comedy. Calm down. Oh shoot. I have no reason to own Bruce Willis's Death Wish, but I own all the other old Death Wish movies, so why wouldn't I own the remake that for some reason stars Bruce Willis? Whatever. That's Hollywood for you. Shazam. Might be the best DC movie of this year. Really watch Joker again to compare the two. All we know is that this is certainly a better DC movie than The Kitchen, which, yeah, I'm sure you all saw it. I know I did. They didn't have it on Black Friday for sale. I really would have bought it then. Spider-Man Far From Home. Finally finishing my Marvel collection while catching up from what I haven't bought. The Predator. I'm a big Shane Black fan. He was actually in the original Predator movie, and then he came back to direct The Predator. For the most part, it felt like, why are we touching upon a lot of this again? I feel like the Predator franchise doesn't have so much more stuff to give at this point as much as it is. Maybe we should just come up with new ideas. Aquaman. You know, I wasn't like the biggest lover of this movie, but man, it had a visual style and a lot of shots in it that I still remember even a year after seeing the movie. The version that didn't have a digital code in it. Every once in a while they'll get cheap for Black Friday and they won't throw in the digital codes or extra DVDs, or even the discs will be different. They won't have the extended cuts and stuff like that. This was a case where they didn't throw in the digital code. Screw you, Walmart. Cheap butts. Halloween. Completing the Halloween collection now with the new movie. And this was really fun. I really wish they weren't making a sequel, because they wrapped up everything with this one. It was like the final hurrah. And it was a better final hurrah than what they tried to do with H2O, because this very much is doing what H2O did, except this is like H4O. It's 40 years later now. Lego Movie 2, which, man, kind of a disappointment in a way. Not a bad movie, fine enough. Better than some other kids' movies, sequels and comedy sequels go, but still not nearly as much of an impact as the first movie made, especially on me. I'm running out of my voice. We're still going. Ghostbusters. Goosebumps 2. I think I may have been the only one in the world who actually went to theaters to see this, because no one seems to remember it exists. I know when I saw it, I was like alone in the theater. I didn't mind this movie. Like, I liked the first Goosebumps movie. I enjoy Jack Black. He's not really in this movie, but a movie that's centered around Halloween, and we don't have a lot of Halloween movies. We have a lot of horror movies, and we have a lot of horror movies set at Halloween, but we don't really have a lot of Halloween movies. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Anybody who complains about this movie I think they just don't really know what to expect out of a Godzilla movie. This did exactly what Godzilla 2014 should have done. Bad Times at the El Royale. This is the greatest Quentin Tarantino ripoff movie ever made. This is an excellent, very memorable movie that I liked once upon a time in Hollywood, but they didn't really live up to everything they were going to do with the Charles Manson cult aspect of it. It was very much a sideline to what the movie was really about. This one is totally involved with the cult aspect of it. There's a character in this movie that pretty much is supposed to be Charles Manson, and it's great. Great performances, great story. Detective Pikachu, of course I bought it, but if you see my review on YouTube, this was a weird movie. Give me the other one too. Yeah, we'll do these. Stupid. I'm not a fan of the Fantastic Beasts movies. Fantastic Beasts wasn't a great movie, but it had a good enough story into it that I was like, it would be great to see this as a book and then made into a movie. You could tell J.K. Rowling wrote it as a book. And then he had the sequel. This is garbage. Like, it was crazy just how bad it was. This was the movie that made me realize I think they're giving J.K. Rowling way too much control here. It's Batman and it's Ninja Turtles. I'm trying to collect all the Batman animated movies, and what can go wrong? I have been wanting to see this ever since it came out. Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. This was the sequel, well, not really as much a sequel as much as a spin-off to Teen Titans Go the movies, which was at the end credits of Teen Titans Go the movies, they alluded to a team-up movie like this. And I haven't checked it out yet. This didn't hit theaters, I'm guessing because Teen Titans Go the movies didn't make too much money. But also, that's a great movie. Us, this is still one of the best movies of this year. Jordan Peele knocks it out of the park again. I mean, he's probably one of the best horror filmmakers out there right now. Filmmakers in general. Venom, because I gotta finish the Marvel set. I don't know. Captain Marvel, Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson. I mean, that's a good team up, I thought. Did you purposely save this one for last? Yeah, of course you did. Bohemian Rhapsody, after being told months upon months on end that I need to buy this movie, I finally gave in. So I hope you're happy. I don't even know how to God, there's so, I don't even know if I have room for all of these. I need to never go to the store ever again. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters. For only $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. Ask me to review anything I haven't already. There's also other perks like blogs, exclusive videos, and early access. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks so much for watching this video.